Yo, we want to thank you guys for checking us out every day. Your number one spot for entertainment news. You already know, like we always tell you, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, let us know what's up. And come on in. Yes, it's another edition of the Weekly Entertainment News Podcast. I'm your brother Hiram King, and once again, I'm in the building. Listen, check this out. Every now and then, we're in the building more than once a week. As you can see now, we do this thing every Tuesday, but when the information is pertinent, we like to stop what we're doing and bring that information to you. We got a lot of stuff going on. I know you're here for some T.I. stuff. I know you're here for some, more importantly, some Diddy stuff. So we're going to give you a little bit of the T.I. and them stuff, and then we're going to go into what y'all really here for. But if you don't know, T.I. and Tiny just been awarded $71 million. How? I know y'all been seeing them celebrating and hearing all the good news, but what happened? Well, apparently a company, MGA Entertainment, stole the likeness, the images, and the look of one of their groups, their girl group, an old group that they put together a few years ago. I think it was in 2009. Okay, so at the trial, T.I. and Tiny zeroed in on Seven Dials MGA, which is the company promoted, that they argued had the same identical appearance of their OMG girls doing the very specific public events, meaning that when the girls was out promoting, doing what they were doing, and they had certain outfits on, a certain look, well, the MGA Entertainment copied the whole swag style and put it in the doll form, and sold it. Now, they are celebrating this $71 million thing because they had the balls, the gumptions, and the know-how and the financial wherewithal to go up against a giant, a billion-dollar company like MGA. And like they said, the the jury and everybody saw that they stole their ideas, their likeness and everything. So big ups to T.I. and them, big ups to them. And that's, celebration all over the place. Listen, since celebration is all over the place, looks like my man Offset.
Let's go.
Got here a diamond record featuring my man Tyga. You already know the name of the song is called Taste. Okay. Now when we say diamond, we now look, I'm about to break it down. This is music business 101 right now. Okay. You hear these terms, gold, platinum, and diamond. Traditionally, a gold selling album is 500,000 units sold, okay, across the counter. Okay. Platinum is 1 million units sold, okay, across the counter. Okay. Diamond is 10 million sold legitimately across the counter, right? Well, we know the game is a little different now, so I'm going to break it down because, they're connecting digital streams and all this here stuff so you can see exactly what you got to really sell or really listen to be considered platinum artist, gold artist, and a diamond artist. Check it out. A gold certified album in the United States signifies that a song or album have reached over 500,000 album sales or 500 album equivalents. That's the word, equivalent. Let's go there. In terms of streaming, the industry considers 1,250 on-demand audio and video streams as the equivalent of 1 unit paid for a paid subscription. I'm going to say that again. The industry considers
Let's go.
1,250 on-demand streams as an equivalent of 1 album when you're dealing in the paid subscription. So if you're paying for your subscription and you listening to a song, in order for that song through those paid subscription platforms, okay, that thing have to play 1,250 times to be considered the equivalent of 1 unit legitimately sold, right? How about this? 3,750 streams to 1 album on a free platform, meaning you hear ads through it. So if you're listening to YouTube or whatever and it's free and you hear these streams and stuff like that, and you hear commercials and stuff like that, it's free. In order for that thing to be considered 1 unit sold, it has to be played 3,750 times. Wow, listen to where we're going. So you can imagine, and that's just gold. Let's just skip the platinum and let's go to the diamond. Shall we go to do I got the diamond here? Yeah, the highest level of certification is diamond, which represents 10 million equivalent album units sold. In terms of streaming, this equates to between 12.5 to 37.5 billion streams. Jeez.
Wow.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of play. That's a lot of push and play. But I just wanted to break it down to you so you can understand what these people are talking about in this digital realm where we are right now. But listen, let's just do what you came here to do. You know, Diddy is in the news. Okay.
Oh my God!
Now listen, I can start off with a whole bunch of serious stuff, but I found something crazy. You know, his lawyer got an excuse, got a reason why Diddy had a whole bunch of baby oil, okay? A whole bunch of that oil, okay? And this, I thought was funny as hell because I was listening to it. I said, first off, the lawyer was saying it wasn't over 1,000. He just said, let's just say it was a lot. And the guy that was interviewing him said, no. It was on the paperwork that it was about 1,000. But the lawyer kept saying, let's just say it's a lot, okay? So right there, it's already funny to me, right? And then the guy said, well, the interviewer was saying, well, okay, if it was only if it was just a little bit, what's going on with the baby oil in the building anyway? The attorney said, when I was young, this is what he said. When I was young, usually freak-offs were called threesomes. I'm gonna say it again. He said freak-offs when he was younger were called threesomes. Okay. Now you and I know that's not a freak-off. Okay, those are just probably some people do that standardly. It's just another person in the room. That's kind of in the 2024 kind of okay, kind of almost lightweight normal. Okay, but he's trying to say back in the day, freak-offs was called, threesomes. Trying to set up. Now this is a lawyer trying to set up the big drop about why the baby oil or the body oil, whatever the hell you want to call it, is in the house in such conglomeration. Remember, he's trying to keep it small, like it wasn't over 1,000. But that dude said the reason why it's possible that Diddy had a whole bunch of baby oil, body oil, whatever the hell you call it, is because P. Diddy liked to buy in bulk.
Surprise!
That's why he was trying to say maybe it wasn't 1,000. P. Diddy is a conscious shopper and he's watching his spending, so he's buying in bulk. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. And this is his attorney. Oh man, Diddy's doomed. Okay, I'm just gonna go there. But keeping in Diddy news, you already know his kids came out and said, hey, we need to make some statements, right? We got to make an official statement because y'all wildin'. Let's say what they said. They said, we've seen many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parent relationship, Kim Porter and Sean Puffy Combs, right? As well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. This is them speaking out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not. And anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interest at heart. Our lives were shattered when we lost our mother. She was our world, and nothing has been the same since she passed. While it has been an incredibly hard, difficult time to reconcile how she could be taken away from us so soon, the cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process, and we ask that everyone respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day. We are deeply saddened that the world has made a spectacle of what has been the most tragic event of our lives, our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories. We ask that everyone please respect our mother, Kim Porter, and hold her legacy in high regard so that she may rest in peace is what she deserves. We love you and miss you, Mommy. The kids. I thought, you know what? I really thought that was important that they come out and say something. I thought it was powerful that they said, hey, don't speak for the damn family. We are the family. And so the kids are big enough to make standard statements about what's going on. I thought that was classy. I thought it was much needed. And I thought we should respect what's going on, right? Speaking about what respect what's going on, we're going to keep it going. Looks like my man Meek Mill said, y'all going to respect me one way or the other. So much so, I'm going to put up $100,000, okay, to make sure that you guys know I'm going to hire a dang private investigator. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to distance myself from this foolishness. He's saying, hey, there's no way I was involved in any of these damn freak-offs, okay? That's what he said. He said, I ain't got nothing to do with these freak-offs, and I ain't got nothing to do with all this racketeering and all this stuff that's going on. He says, I'm going to put up $100,000 to clear my name, okay? He said, keep my name from this freaky stuff. This is what Meek Mill is doing. Listen, man, I just want you guys to know, man, listen, we do this thing each and every week. This is the Weekly Entertainment News Podcast. I am your brother Hiram Markeem. We represent the Reporter newspaper here in Blackburn, Ohio. I did say Blackburn, Ohio, but it's really called Akron, Ohio. And what we do is we try to share positive light and we try to paint positive images of our people every day. Listen, this is a newspaper. You can get that thing delivered to your house. That's right. The number is on the screen. Don't forget to support black business. And the only way you can support black business is to stand on business and do the right thing and call that damn number and get that newspaper rushed to your house. Well, listen, this is my favorite part of the show. Okay? I like to call it my conscious content. We give you that knowledge you can't get in college, a little understanding for your planning, okay? And this is what it's all about. Listen, a lot of people was trying to figure out what's going on. And of course, we give you some real conscious thought. But sometimes I don't like to speak it. Sometimes I like people who got something conscious to say. I showcase it in video form. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Check it out.
If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty on any of the 3 counts of that federal indictment, if he's guilty of sexually trafficking people against their will, if he's guilty of participating in arson and bribery and kidnapping and all of these things that they're accusing him of, if they can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he engaged in these things, then like anyone else, if you do the crime, you should do the time. But when I look at those indictments, first of all, when I look at the racketeering count of the indictment, and of course, I'm not an attorney, but when I look at racketeer influence corrupt organization, I'm saying to myself, Sean Combs, from what I understand, because I don't know the man personally, he did not build Bad Boy on criminal money. Bad Boy was built legitimately through the legal channels of the music industry. He might have engaged in crime using Bad Boy property after he built Bad Boy. But did he use criminal funding in crime to create Bad Boy? I don't think he did. Now, maybe RICO extends to you simply engaging in crime on company time. Now, if they're saying he sexually trafficked women on company time, and that constitutes RICO, then he might be guilty. But everybody who knows Puff knows that he came into the music industry the right way. He hustled the right way, and he built his empire the right way. It appears that all the freak-offs in the alleged sexual trafficking, the alleged interstate prosecution that may have come after the fact. So the question becomes, can he still be convicted of RICO charge if he simply engaged in sexual activities that did not directly have to do with the business, but he did it on company time. He did it in company property. So that would be a clarifying issue that I would like to see explained. So that's one piece. Now, when I look at the sexual trafficking, again, he could be innocent, he could be guilty. But when I look at a Sean Puffy Combs being a mogul, being as popular who he is, as he is, I don't see why he would need to kidnap people and sexually traffic them across state lines and then force them to engage in sexual behavior. I really can't see that. Again, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm simply saying, as thirsty as people can be, men and women, for fame, for attention, I don't think Sean Puffy Combs has to force anybody, okay, into sexual trafficking. I don't see him needing to sell people against their will across state lines to engage in sex. I don't see it. I do not believe he's guilty of sex trafficking, but I could be wrong because I don't know what the evidence is. So the racketeering piece, I'm a little uncertain of. The sex trafficking piece, on the surface, I don't believe he's guilty of that because I don't think he needs to forcibly sell anybody or traffic anyone. Now, the third count of the federal indictment is where I think they might can get him. Interstate prostitution. Did Sean Puffy Combs influence people, pay people, bribe people to come across state lines and engage in sexual activity? He may very well be guilty of that. So then the question becomes, for me, what is the maximum he can get? Fed time for engaging in interstate prostitution. And interestingly, when you look at the federal definition of prostitution, it does not require an exchange of money. It could be a promise. It could be a material benefit. And you know, Puffy, he kind of flashy. All the hip hop guys who got money, they pretty flashy. So he might say, hey, if you do this, I'll give you this. Or what if he just gave them rewards for complying with his request? In other words, there was no upfront business arrangement for sex. There was no upfront business arrangements for sex. Hypothetically, he brings them into New York. He brings them into LA. He brings them into Miami. They do what they do. And as a means of him of flexing his power and his money, I'm going to buy you this car. I'm going to take care of your bills. She wasn't expecting nothing but time with Puff. She wasn't expecting nothing but participation in the freak off. But because she was rewarded for her participation in the freak off, does that meet the federal definition of prostitution? It's the same thing with my RICO charge question. I don't believe he built his music empire illegally, but if he engaged in illegal activity non-related to the music empire, but he used music empire property to do it, does that also meet the federal definition of a RICO charge? And me personally, Art, I believe the reason they went RICO and the reason they went Fed is they want to completely destroy Sean Puffy Combs publicly and financially, because this could have very easily been state charges. The feds don't come in quickly to take up cases. They came in and took this up. And as you know, the feds have a 97% conviction rate. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying somebody wants Sean Puffy Combs completely destroyed. And I think I know who it is. I believe it is Diageo. I believe it is the British-based liquor company that Puffy was doing business with. They're one of the biggest liquor companies in the world. They market and sell some of the most popular brands of liquor, including Ciroc. And Diddy had an agreement with them where they would help him market his De Leon tequila brand. And Diddy took issue with Diageo because they had described The De Leon tequila liquor, Puffy's brand, they described it to their customer base as if it was an inner city, urban, quote unquote, ghetto, hip hop type of liquor. And Puffy took issue with that because he said, I'm a global icon. I'm a hip hop mogul. Don't limit my product just to black people. And by doing that, you're dissuading white people and non-blacks from buying my liquor. You're cutting my sales low. And I think you're doing it on purpose because you don't want De Leon tequila to outsell all your other European controlled brands. So Puffy accused Diageo of racial discrimination in advertising and marketing. Diageo got upset with Puff, British-based company. They said, you done already made $1 billion off of us. How dare you sue us and try to make a few more billion off of us? So they tried to get the case thrown out. But the judge allowed the case to proceed because Diageo claimed that there was a clause in their contract with Puff that did not allow him to ever take them to court. Any grievances, according to the contract, Diageo alleges needed to be solved outside of court. But the judge sided with Puff and allowed the lawsuit to go forward. So Diageo is losing black money because of this racial discrimination piece. Other companies don't want to do business with them because they don't want to be branded as anti-black, even if they are, because everybody knows we disproportionately spend more money on liquor than any other group. So Diageo is losing money. Then on top of that, Puff then already made $1 billion off of them. And now Puff is suing them for a few more billion. So what do? They decide to settle out of court. Now check this out. Diageo and Puff settled out of court in January 2024. Puffy's homes are raided in March. There's no way you're going to convince me that a company that powerful, Diageo operates in 180 of 194 countries in the world. They operate in 180 out of 194 countries in the world. You are not going to convince me that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. There is no way they were forced to settle with Puffy in January, and less than 2 months later, his homes are raided. And I'm going to tell you how I believe Puffy gave them the ammunition to go after him, Art. When Cassie made her accusations against Puff, he settled in about 24 hours. And they settled in November of 2023. Mind you, he's already in court with Diageo since the spring of 2023. Watch this timeline. He sues Diageo in the spring. Cassie comes out in the fall. He settles with Cassie in 24 hours. Diageo is watching this. So when Diageo decides to settle with Puff outside of court, they did this knowing full well we about to go after you and destroy you. You are messing with the Illuminati. You have no idea who you effing with, Sean Combs. And when Puff was so quick to settle with Cassie, that showed the whole world he was vulnerable. That showed the whole world he had skeletons in his closet. And do you know what I think Diageo did after they settled with Puff? I bet you after they settled with Puff, they probably never even made it to the airplane. They picked up the phone and they called King Charles III. And they said, "Dear monarch, we need you to dial in a favor for us to President Joe Biden. Because this Sean Puffy Combs, this little out of New York City, he think he can go to war with the big boys and not pay the consequences. Sean Puffy Combs, that hip hop king out of New York, he think he can tell white people what to do. He think he gonna rob us for a couple $1 billion and get away with it. It's not going down. Dear King, please make that call on behalf of your citizens." That's what I believe happened. King Charles picked up the phone. He called Joe Biden or any number of U.S. citizens, any number of U.S. prosecutors. In less than 2 months after Puffy settled with Diego, his homes were raided. Now, here's the other thing, Art. The reason they did not arrest Puffy until recently, because they could have arrested him then, is they wanted to wait and save this for a time they needed to distract the black public away from something that they didn't need us getting involved in. The reason he got arrested now is because we're 6 weeks away from the presidential election, and Black America was tearing Kamala Harris's up looking for presidential accountability.
Okay, and we black. Listen, tell somebody this is where the blackness happen each and every week, and the blackness is entertainment. Y'all better feel me before they kill me, y'all. Peace.
Can't be for me, whole nother frequency, bitch, G.O.D. what the fuck is a mug? Nigga be fake, won't leave him snuggly, he undercover, then fucking we talking a minute. It's all in this stuff, nigga, fuck is you saying? Bird, bitch, you getting struck. We ain't going back and forth by the door, we ain't going back and forth by the door. Wash, halu, ella, ilaha, illallah, we come in the name of the source. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, we flipping niggas out the porch. Niggas in Paris, somebody yeah and J version, boss whole Jane Harden, but they think they the highest. We locking them up, you get caught with the smoke, get your flame darkened. They shooting shots, but I ain't far, this fuck around, hit the same target, back to back.